Hello and welcome to the Otaku Network podcast. My name is Steve.
I'm Dave.
And we are into week 1 of the 2026 spring anime season. So that means we have 3 brand new shows to talk about. The first one up is my pick, Kirio Fan Club. Honestly, there's not a lot to talk about with Kirio Fan Club. The first episode is largely set up. So we have 2 high school girls and friends.
And rivals.
Aimi and Nami. And as David alluded to, they are rivals in love over their stoic classmate, Kirio. And
He dumb.
yeah, he's a himbo. We'll just put it up right away. He appears to be a himbo. The 2 girls have decided to create a game between themselves to see who can attract the love of their life's attention first. But they're both thoroughly convinced that he doesn't even understand that they exist in reality. So a lot of their interactions are with each other, feeding the other person's neurosis regarding Kirio and their place within his orbit of reality. And that's kind of about it at this point. They're dumb.
They're very dumb,
They're
yes.
real dumb.
Yeah.
And that stupidity leads to slapstick comedy of sorts, like ridiculous situations.
Like Aimi's prophetic dream.
Yeah, where it led to events where she ended up on a date with Kirio. They started seeing some of the events in the dream that she talked about taking place. And that's where we get the introduction to Kirio and realize that there's nothing going on in his brain.
Have you ever counted the amount of moles on your body? I was like, oh my God, he's stupid.
He's pretty dumb. So these 2 girls are dangerously obsessing over Kirio, and he has no idea what's going on.
Yeah, those girls are kind of creepy.
A little crazy.
I was like half expecting somebody to like walk in on them during their like thing about his jacket and just be like, oh, you guys are crazy. Especially because she started listing his internal organs. I was like, girl's a serial killer.
They did the challenge of see how many things you can write about Kirio in a minute on the blackboard. And the one, I think it was Aimi.
Yeah, it was Aimi.
And Aimi just starts listing organs. Which later in the day, Kirio returns to the classroom because he's been looking for his jacket and sees the stuff written on there with no context and is disturbed just on principle.
I'm glad we've immediately got context as to why she was shoving her hand in her mouth.
Yeah, because we kept seeing that clip in the previews, and it's incredibly suggestive.
Yeah.
And so I was very curious as to what the lead up to the situation was of her, like,
fisting her mouth.
Yeah. To emphasize the insanity and stupidity of these characters, she was doing that to make herself throw up.
Mm-hmm.
Girl, it just takes one finger.
Yeah. If anything, the fist is going to get stuck in there.
Right.
And then you just have vomit behind hand. There was many chuckles and then some realization that these girls might become serial killers.
Yeah, maybe.
The last scene where Nami is looking at all those pictures of them. I don't know if she's really in the game. I don't know if she's really trying to go after Kirio or not.
Do you think she's just going along with the flow as a way to make her friend be more
Outgoing?
Maybe not outgoing, but more serious about her attempts?
Maybe. There was something about the way she was looking at her phone and looking at the pictures and how she just had all those pictures of her and Aimi. And especially because like Aimi's like, were you doing your mantras before bed? I'm doing my mantras.
Kirio is essentially their Oshi.
I could be wrong, but I'm proposing now that Nami is not as into Kirio as she's letting on to Aimi. But that's just my hypothesis.
Well, we'll find out as the show goes on. First episode is okay. It wasn't bad. I wanted more insanity out of it. I'm doing it to myself again, like I did with Shikanoko no Kokoshi Tantan.
Yes.
And City. Maybe not so much City, but where I have a preconceived concept based upon the previews that I have attached onto an endearing series. And for this one, it made me think the most about Asobi Asobase. And that show's insane. And I'm hoping for that level of insanity, but the first episode didn't exactly deliver that level of insanity that I was looking for. It was amusing. We love idiots, so the characters were fine. And I love the concept. I don't think we're ever going to see Kirio's face.
No.
Like, I think that's part of the joke. And just the fact that he is Brock stupid is even more amusing.
We do stand idiots in this studio. Very occasionally intelligent characters make you go, I like you. But most of the time, at least between you and me, dumb characters win. You love Ranma. Every single character in that show is an idiot except for Nabiki. My pick for this season was Rooster Fighter, which is a a choice, in my opinion, a very funny choice. But the show follows a lone rooster who travels around Japan fighting the demons of a world where demon attacks are basically commonplace. The rooster's name is Keiji, and yeah, it's a lot of shonen tropes, which after watching this initial first episode, I would like to propose that this is a parody of shonen anime.
Oh, it's very much a parody. It's intentionally made the way it's made.
So, with this in mind, I'm going to attempt to try to pick out as many shonen things as possible and try to figure out where they're from. I may not get everyone because I've not seen every single shonen anime that's ever existed, but there's some glaringly obvious ones that I saw and some glaringly obvious ones that Steve saw. To finish with the synopsis, which is very quick, we basically see Keiji beat up some demons, lay down the groundwork that a demon ate his sister, who's a chicken, because he's a chicken, and we get introduced to some of his abilities. He can run super fast. He can Kamehameha Bakak. And yeah, that's pretty much the first episode.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of chicken sex.
A lot, as in 2 incidences of chicken sex.
Which is a lot. My normal occurrences of chicken sex in an anime is 0. So the fact that there was 2, that's pretty high, Steve.
Yeah.
Am I missing anything important? No, probably not.
No.
Let's pick out some tropes that we saw from animes that maybe we've seen, or from other media, other Japanese media.
Keiji is, he's the stoic lone warrior traveling the land. Something like Lone Wolf and Cub. It felt very similar to the classic 70s Gekiga manga story.
Dude, also there was a call out to?
What was there a call out to?
Blade of the Immortal.
Well, Blade of the Immortal.
Doesn't his sister die in Blade of the Immortal?
I mean, yeah. It's not a unique trope to Blade of the Immortal.
I know, but still, like Blade of the Immortal, there's that trope.
Look, it's more the trope of he has a tragedy that spurns him into this heroic path. I love the flashback of the incident where, his world is destroyed and his sister is murdered by the giant thing. And as he's screeching in agony, it looks like maybe his gizzard cracks or something like that.
Yeah, and then
granting him the powers of his Kamehameha ability.
Yeah, his latent chicken powers. That's definitely a reference to like Goku and and probably I think Luffy at some point has a power up like that.
There's always the trope in the shonen stories where a moment of great crisis will flip a switch in the hero, pushing them beyond their abilities into greatness and victory.
There was references to like everything. Technically, if you watched the English version of it, which I did because I'm not going to watch Japanese for a stupid show like this, the voice actor in English is the same one for Dio Brando in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Dio's voice actor is Keiji's voice actor, who also happens to be the voice actor for Artanis, for anybody that's enjoyed StarCraft.
And who does he do in One Piece?
Frankie.
Frankie, yeah.
Oh, and he's also the voice actor for Endeavor in English for My Hero Academia.
Rooster Fighter is either incredibly smart or incredibly stupid.
We need more episodes to see.
Yeah, time will tell. It's essentially paying homage and mocking at the same time storied traditions within shonen. It's similar to how One Piece started out. One Piece crashed and burned after a while, and it stopped making fun of the thing and just became the thing.
Yeah.
But I think Rooster Teeth will go in a different direction because it's not pretending not to be what it's making fun of. It's just doing it with a big wink. Be like, this is ridiculous. It's reveling in the glory of the stupidity and its mockery of the stupidity. So I don't know.
Also,
we'll see.
The demons are a huge reference to Demon Slayer.
Well, I mean, there's the general idea of the demons come out of humans' emotions and desires that manifests itself. And
that's actually kind of a combo of Demon Slayer and Jujutsu Kaisen.
I mean, that's kind of a big trope in general with a lot of onmyojo type stories.
But like fairly modern references to it.
Yeah.
Would be Demon Slayer and Jujutsu Kaisen, where like the cursed energy is manifestations of people's feelings.
Yeah, it's like there aren't evil forces. It's just peoples who succumb to their desires become evil things.
As soon as that dude was like, my quota, I was like, oh, they turn into demons. And then he turned into a demon. I was like, I called it.
So Keiji is on the look for, well, he's really traveling the land for revenge.
Yeah, because it's a revenge story.
Yeah, so because he's looking for a
Blade of the Immortal.
He's looking for a specific demon that has a tattoo on its neck.
Yes.
And so after he fought off the car salesman demon, he checked its neck for the tattoo and was disappointed that his journey had not finished. So yeah,
I would have liked to see Keiji trying to use the broom as a chicken. That would have been funny.
It would have been funny.
Also, when he got served the plate of like brown rice, like beans and some leaves, and he's just like, what the fuck? This is a feast.
But then you counter that to the one scene from the kids seeing him in the playground and the girls like offering him a piece of chicken.
Yeah.
So that's a trope that shows up every once in a while in anime. Bird cannibalism. There's a romance from years and years and years ago where one of the main characters was this little chick.
Yeah.
And there were segments where the chick would be hanging out in the lunchroom during school and people would be feeding it chicken nuggets.
Anyway, let's talk about a little bit more serious of an anime. Demons of the Shadow Realm. Another story by the same author, Steve.
Hiromu Arakawa.
Thank you. The author of Full Metal Alchemist. The story takes place in what appears to be initially a feudal-ish world. Kinda Japan, kinda not. It's the styles of buildings like lend you to a European style occasionally, but then back to like an Asian-esque style. So it's kind of hard to place exactly.
It felt like feudal Japan as depicted in Princess Mononoke.
Some of the stuff seemed a little more European than would be considered, Japanese construction. We initially get introduced to a wailing woman who is giving birth to twins. These twins are Yuru and Asa.
They're twins that are splitting the day. One born in the night and one born in the morning.
Which we're initially told is fulfilling a prophecy that will one day stop the demons?
Something like that. Or maybe control them.
They said something about, I can't remember if it was destroy or stop or control the demons.
I think it might have been control.
And then we crash cut to 16 years later to when Yuru and what appears to be Asa, I say appears to be because we'll get there, are just living their daily life in their village, mountain village, in this feudal something or another Japan.
An idyllic, anachronistic village.
And yeah, we go about their daily life for a bit. We see Yuru hunting a pheasant. We then go through more daily life. We get introduced to the fact that Asa is in a jail cell and Yuru adores his sister.
Asa makes me think of the main character's sister in Demon Slayer.
Nezuko.
Demure, sheltered, protected, yet also the caged bird idea.
We are quickly shown the breaking of this idyllic life when the barrier to the village is destroyed.
Yeah, there was a glamour of sorts placed upon the village and the surrounding area.
We very quickly realize that this does not take place in an idyllic feudal setting. It takes place in the modern day. And a team of helicopters flies in. It looks like it's a private military, and they go through and slaughter the village in an attempt to pick up Yuru, who we learn is being hunted by this group because what appears to be his actual sister Asa is like leading
the attack on the village.
This attack on this village to get him. So we are thrust into this very large mystery about who the real Asa is, why is Yuru being held here, and we get introduced to his demons, left and right.
Which are essentially the protectors of the village.
Who,
through the help of Dera.
Through Dera.
That was the merchant trader.
I laughed so hard when he put the thing in. And he's like, it's not fucking working. And then boom!
Slammed his nose into the seal.
And then, we're left with kind of a cliffhanger mystery. We get introduced to a really cool, really interesting
antagonist.
Did she ever say her name?
She said her name when she was talking on her phone.
Who has a partnership with two demons that allow her to eat people.
She directs the demons to eat people.
Yeah.
And nobody can see them unless they have the sense.
The sight. Anything else important that I'm missing from the...
Where we're left with the first episode is the world that Yuru is exposed to and grew up in is absolutely not the real world. For whatever reason, he and a bunch of other people are kept in this secluded, idyllic, anachronistic village. They talk about how like his parents, how they do tend to leave the village sometimes if they're struggling to survive. And then his friend, whose name I don't remember, had mentioned that anybody who ever leaves never comes back. It really made me think of Rumspringa. Like, honestly,
that's fair.
The thing of like when an Amish person comes of age, they're given the ability to experience the world outside of their community. But in this case, their community doesn't even fully understand that there is a world outside of their forest.
They think everybody's like this.
Yeah. So we have factions that have the ability to control supernatural beings, and we don't understand any of the intent. But apparently, the Asa that Yuru and everybody else knew of as his sister was apparently a decoy, a proxy, that was, for whatever reason, kept in imprisonment for an importance that we were not really explained.
And had demon blood.
And this strike force is apparently led by the true Asa, who, for reasons currently unknown, obviously, has come to capture her brother or relieve him from his imprisonment. I don't know. It might be a situation of the prophecy was if the two siblings work together, it will spell a portent of doom. And so maybe that's why they're intentionally kept apart. And now the sister, being with other people, probably growing up in the real world, realized the secrets due to whatever faction she's a part of and was like, yeah, we're going to make this thing happen, and is instigating the thing happening. And so now we have Dara dragging Yuru out of his idyllic life for preservation of whatever they need or want him to do. So we don't know who's the good guy and who's the bad guy. Obviously, you would say that the group that comes in and starts murdering what appear to be innocent people would be the bad guys.
But who knows?
I don't think we can make that assumption just yet.
I know. I'm like, I don't know who's bad.
Stylistically, Arakawa's artwork is very similar to her previous, phenomenal, well-respected manga. And I think
I feel like it would take away from this.
Yeah,
if
no.
Was linked.
Comparison is the thief of joy. And I compare everything all the time, so I am the thief of joy.
No, you are.
I am the thief of joy.
Great episode.
I don't normally like fantasy. Like, it's just not my thing. I can't say that, but largely I don't like fantasy. There's some stories that I've liked, like Darker Than Black.
You like Full Metal Alchemist.
Because I respect and enjoyed Full Metal Alchemist so much, I knew I was going to watch this. This is probably the best delivery of a first episode I've seen in a really long time. It does a really good job of building the framework of the world that we're working in, and then giving you absolutely nothing but questions that you really desire to get answers to.
Yes, I was very happy with the delivery. I have high hopes for the series.
I believe this show is supposed to be 2 core.
Sweet.
So here's hoping that it doesn't drag at some point like Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood did.
Yeah.
All right, so those are the 3 shows, first episodes. Kirio Fan Club. Time will tell. I want it to be more insane, but the first episode was okay. It wasn't bad. What kind of ranking, what grade, initial grade, would you give Kirio Fan Club?
It has potential. I'm going to give it a B.
I'm going to give it a B as well. We're on the same boat. Rooster Fighter. This is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. And then I thought about it and I'm like, wait a minute. This is intentionally stupid. This is intentionally making fun and paying homage to copious amounts of ridiculousness.
Yes.
I'll give it a B as well. I do not like the artwork.
That's fair.
I don't have a problem with 3D CG. I have a problem with poorly executed 3D CG. And some of the character designs are kind of bad, but that may be intentional.
I'm mildly leaning to the camp that the terrible CG is a reference to some shonen that have had terrible CG monsters.
And something tells me that the human characters are designed stupidly intentionally.
Yes.
Like, just to show how ridiculous the humans are versus the chickens.
Very well done.
Very well detailed. Like, that's a chicken. The humans look like genetic degenerates.
Yeah, but no, the chicken.
But that's probably on purpose.
I'm giving it a B too.
All right.
Because I think everything, even the stuff we don't like looking at, is done on purpose and is intentional.
I think I can agree with that one.
Time will tell. We'll see what the final grade for the show is.
Yeah.
But I'm looking forward to 12 episodes of homage / making fun of shonen tropes.
Daemons of the Shadow Realm, I'm going to give it a B+.
Yeah, I'm also in the solid B+ territory. It leaves you wanting to continue on to the next episode. Yeah. It sets up a world that is very much different from our own.
But also very similar.
And it doesn't do the thing where you're like, I could take it or leave it.
It has not hand-fed us the information.
It is definitely the hook with the worm on it, just sitting there bobbing in the water
Yeah.
for us fish to grab onto and get dragged along.
It's the first week.
High hopes.
Yeah, the shows overall are not bad. It'll be interesting to see where they go.
I would argue that these are the most solid opening 3 episodes we've ever had on this show. I don't think we've ever been in as much agreement about the 3 shows ever.
I think we're happy. And for me, that happiness with Rooster Fighter is entirely dependent on me recognizing it as a farce.
Because I don't think we've ever been on the same page with all 3 shows initially.
Yeah.
We've one of us has always been disappointed in at least one of them.
I'm afraid that Kirio Fan Club might not deliver as expected.
It's going to be funny when you don't like it and I fall in love with it.
That's fine. That's fine.
I wouldn't have picked to watch this initially, but
I hope I don't regret what I initially wanted to do, which is Tales from Iwajima.
I do think we did a good job of picking shows that the other definitely would not have fucking watched.
The 2 reasons I didn't go with Tales from Iwajima was, 1, I didn't want to do another serious drama for the podcast for a second season, because I think I'm still recovering from the depth and gravity of Journal with Witch.
Yeah.
And it's starting later in the season. And at the point of where we really had to decide what we were doing, it was uncertain if that was going to be licensed. And I didn't want to create a lot more complexity with picking Iwajima. So I went with Kirio Fan Club.
But I still don't think I would have picked
No,
Kirio,
probably not.
And I 100% don't think you would have willingly watched Rooster Fighter.
Oh, no. I remember watching the preview for it and like throwing up a little bit in my mouth.
And then I just giggled and I'm like, that's my pick. The best part is I saw the manga and that kind of initially attracted it to me. And then I saw that it was happening this season and I'm like, now or never. Because I like stupid shit.
I know you do. I mean, I do too, to an extent, but
if it's meant to be funny, which as soon as I saw the trailer, I'm like, this is meant to be stupid and funny. Yeah,
I have to just get in that mindset with it. Like, this is intentionally this way because it's trolling while also showing love for the thing it's trolling.
Because I am a person that loves parody.
Oh yeah,
parody to me is comedy.
Yeah,
like Weird Al Yankovic.
Yes,
parodies fucking everything. Love him to death.
Mel Brooks
parodies everything. Love it to death. So as soon as I see something that looks like it could execute parody really well, which seeing the trailer for Rooster Fighter, I was like, that could potentially do a really good parody of shonen.
Hopefully it doesn't lose the way like One Punch Man did.
As always, check us out on our socials. Steve has his blog. I have my Instagram and TikTok where I do miniature painting. Links below, which I need to start getting back into those. I just need to...
You've been busy.
I also could post the things that I paint instead of being lazy and not take pictures of them. And we always have our Discord as well, where you can harass us about whatever random thingamabob you're watching this season of, or this core of anime.
Yeah, come in and tell me if I'm being too critical of Akane Banashi.
And tell me if I'm being too silly about wanting to watch Rooster Fighter this season. Give us some feedback on some of the animes you're watching. We always like to hear from you guys. And
don't forget about Wednesday episodes of Anime Plus, where we are celebrating the 20th anniversary of the Haruhi Suzumiya anime adaptation, where I am finally making David watch one of my favorite series this season. So the first episode came out on Wednesday, where we talk about episodes 1 and 2. All right, thanks again. Don't forget to like and subscribe, hit that bell. We'll check you guys next time.
Deuces.